If you look at this graph, most crimes are committed by young people, late adolescents, and apparently crimes committed by this age group remains the highest, but it declines over time. So should we ban video games? No. Should we? No. Should we ban Tetris? No. So what's the cost if it's not video games? What's the cost? Why late adolescents they shoot their classmates or the whole class, the whole school, and sometimes cops came? It's not video game for sure, we know, and we don't know the reason. And it's okay. Yeah, it's declining anyway. And if you look at this graph, those 65 and older, they have very low crime rates from the 90s until now. And because of that, the Vegas shooting is still fresh on our minds. We also remember a few famous school shootings. That's about it. And if these people they got caught, these are violent crimes. They will be in jail for decades. They will experience aging in the prison. And one of your articles said, policymakers did not foresee all these people will age out the criminal justice system, and they did not have any facilities, special diets, the rails, the showers, among other things in the prison. And because of that, you have to critically think whether older adults should be granted parole. Remember the age crime curve? It peaks in late teens, young adulthood, it declines thereafter. Older adults rarely commit crimes. But still, sometimes older adults do commit crimes. The 5 common crimes committed by older adults. Can you believe? Kidnapping? Wow. Do they actually do it themselves, or they assign somebody, they pay somebody to do it?
I feel like I've noticed a lot of like older people that kidnap don't always do it alone. Like sometimes like it'll be like a 2-person kind of thing.
As a group, I agree. Do you recall a long time ago, more than 10 years, it made the news? I think the ringleader was a gang or a mafia group migrated from, I don't know, Soviet or Russian. He was kind of educated or very educated. I think he had professional or graduate school education. If I recall correctly, he was a lawyer. He could not find comparable employment after migrating to the US. So this is what he had been doing. Does that ring a bell? I think it was 2010 when I saw the news. He was well advanced in age. I don't know if he was in his 60s, I don't think so. Maybe 50s or late 40s. So, yeah, right. They did it in a group. So, makes sense. Shoplifting makes sense or not? Makes sense, kind of, sort of. Some older adults, if they experience reduction in income after they stop working, their social security, retirement income cannot sustain their lifestyle, cannot pay their rent, their mortgage, cannot pay for their grocery. And sometimes they think they can get away, which is true. And sometimes people feel sorry for them. Or it's too expensive to press charges to sue them. Do you know it's not cheap to sue people? And do you know an eviction process is very expensive? I'm off a tangent right now. Eviction process if the tenant does not pay rent. Do you know it's very costly to keep the tenants out? Are you aware? And in the process of hiring the lawyer, working with the lawyer to keep the person out, the landlord has to allow the tenant to remain in the property without rent. So many landlords, they just forgo everything. They can keep people out, but they will not sue. In most instances, maybe after a month or two, they take the deposit away and they just keep the person out after a month. It's a lot easier this way. And it's the same thing with shoplifting. To hire a lawyer to sue for petty crime, sometimes like this, is too expensive. Harassment. Yeah, it makes sense. More and more opinionated. And sometimes they have a sense of entitlement. I know more than you as they age. And if they are not careful, they commit a crime. I think it's a minor crime. I don't think it's a violent crime. I'm not a criminal justice professor. It can be a misdemeanor, I'm not sure, harassment. So, older adults, they do commit crimes. Are you surprised when you see this? Yeah, no, you're shaking your head. And hit and run. And sometimes due to their visual impairment as they age. And again, they may not be sued. And remember, I told you, there's a new law in my country, in Malaysia, that requires older adults 70 and above to go for their physicals, including vision tests, before they can renew their license. They have a logic behind this, a rationale behind this. But many older adults, like my mom, they are not happy. Because we've been through this, older adults, when you are above 60 or 70, your muscle strength diminish, but you can still drive to short distances. But maybe it's a challenge or it's impossible to walk to the stores nearby, but you can still drive. And yeah, these they can get away to. They will not be sued, hit and run, and reckless driving due to all kinds of reasons. Sometimes they lose a spouse. Older people get divorced too. And many abuse alcohol, abuse drugs. They smoke. Because of all these reasons. Or they are depressed. They live alone. Their kids are far away. They live alone. And nobody can really help them. They have certain health issues. And all these may contribute to substance abuse and reckless driving. All these factors are interconnected. So, according to Dr. Google, it's from a law firm, so it's legit, quite true. It's quite credible. These are the 5 common crimes committed by older adults.